What would happen if the emergent complex behavior of society is built on theft? Wouldn't the natural mirror reflection of the world mean that the people who had the most money would be the best at stealing? The emergent behavior of society would get worse and worse and worse. That's what's happening to the world right now in the existing system.
Welcome to Bit Intelligence. We produce documentaries that delve into the profound impact of Bitcoin on our modern world. Our films are grounded in some of the most impactful books, articles, and in-depth interviews coming from the Bitcoin space. Our aim is to educate a wider audience about the ever-growing impact of this remarkable technology. Follow us on this journey, and bit by bit, film by film, you will gain an incredible insight into the past, present, and future of money, government, economics, and human civilization.
All money is information. What it's describing is the thing you want. And the thing you want is not the money, the dollars. The thing you want is what you think money will buy you. And so that want could be hope for my family. It could be legacy, that future generations will think of me a certain way. What I see in Bitcoin largely, you have a new system emerging, and people are carrying the baggage from the old system into the new system because they can't intuit what the new system will look like, and it's almost completely inverse of the existing system. There is not a physics law that says inflation is required for a productive economy. So it's a belief structure that we believe inflation is required. It's actually theft, right? It transfers money from some people, from the middle class and poor, to the rich. So by saying that you believe in inflation, you're actually saying, I have a belief that theft is required in money to live in a productive society. That theft in money will divide us all, and that theft and money will take us likely to war, or it will concentrate all control in very few super overlords, and the rest of us, it'll look like modern day slavery. Bitcoin is the first thing that's decentralized and secure by design. It's the first time in human history, and it means all of our models going back through human history are based on a flawed design that would repeat throughout time. And we would be looking through the lens of history, thinking, no, that's the right answer, but it couldn't be perfect because our money was never perfect. You would have money that would be stable for a time, and then it would be abused. And we go to war because our governments convince us it's not our fault, it's those people's fault over there. If you look through that lens of history, the strongest markets were always free markets. We know through communism that centralizing function can't see all of the ideas of a free market, so it must make choices that lower living standards. The whole US system was built on a free market, and it was encoded in Bill of Rights, Constitution. We, the people, control the state, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. Those were the strongest economies, and they grew the fastest because you had more ideas. But what ends up happening over time is because money is more powerful than laws, and if you have inflation built into your system, then the wealthy get wealthier and wealthier and wealthier. You can actually create this massive monopoly power that changes laws to favor themselves. Remember, the existing system we live in, which is just a make-believe world, we allow people to destroy our value, steal our time, and we say that's okay, and we make it stronger by voting left or right, saying this person's going to fix it from the same system, or this person's going to fix it from the same system. If it was working, and technology produces abundance everywhere, then the world would look really different than it does today. You wouldn't have more and more dictators emerging. You wouldn't have more and more people starving. You wouldn't have world breaking apart. What's happening in Bitcoin is it's early, but this people that are in Bitcoin, they're in a new system that's building on truth and building hope and abundance for the future. And they're spending more time in the system, and the more and more people that are around them are in that system. Versus if your frame of reference is the existing world, It's getting worse and worse and worse, and it will get worse. Technology should produce falling prices, and it isn't. People think that it's only in TVs or electronics. It's in energy.
Yeah.
It's in everything.
But we're not seeing it.
Why aren't we seeing it? Because when you have abundance in money, it creates scarcity everywhere. When you have scarcity in money, it creates abundance everywhere. Because you can't print more energy prices just go up in response, where they should be coming down because we find more energy.
If you're enjoying this film, don't forget to like it and subscribe to our channel for more.
Let's say a Western liberal democracy.
Yeah.
You believe in that structure. In a Western,
I believe it's the best we have.
Okay, but in a Western liberal democracy, that inflation is most of government's revenue, and you don't have a vote in inflation, do you have a vote that counts? Because if that rate of theft has to increase, what ends up happening at the next stage of that? You turn into a dictatorship. You turn into a dictatorship because people are so hurting from that, they vote to remove their individual rights and freedoms with the dictator that tells them it's a different person's fault. And the Capitol Hill, what happened on January 6th, if you look at if Trump stayed in, do you think laws would have changed to protect him?
Of course.
Of course. Do you think people would have voted to allow those laws to change?
Of course.
Of course. So we're susceptible. We are susceptible in people telling us that they can fix it and removing our rights and freedoms as a result. Bitcoin, it's not Bitcoin price going up. What it's actually measuring is all prices of everything falling against Bitcoin forever.
Removes the theft.
It removes the theft. It's the first time in history that you didn't have to trust an institution which could get co-opted by money. What's going to happen no matter what is Bitcoin is going to reprice everything. And it doesn't actually matter how it gets there. The existing system is going to flail around and some credit is going to be destroyed. Then they're going to do massive inflation. But if you're measuring that system and you're in the noise of the existing system, it's going to feel worse and worse and worse for you. And it's going to get really confusing. And if you're in the new system, you're completely immune from it. You're just building the new future on the new rails. If people actually understood what's coming on this, it's going to be magic. Energy, decentralization, satellite communication, where you could be anywhere in the world and you can plug into a global network of minds building the future of the world, and from anywhere. That could be an island nation, that could be El Salvador, that could be anywhere in the world, and it's moving faster and faster. If I could hire somebody in Nigeria and I could pay them in Bitcoin, and I could pay them in Bitcoin for 1/10 of what I paid here, and they were better, wouldn't I do that?
Of course.
And so what ends up happening is that their labor rates go up because of the competition in forces.
It's going to be a leveler.
It's going to be a leveler all over the world.
So what now? Is
this
essentially, are we voting orange?
You have two systems. One is based on a lie, and one is based on truth. And anybody could audit this system and run their own node and see that this one's based on truth. What would the emergent society look like? If you had something based on truth versus based on a lie? Why it's so hopeful is because the people that are seeing that are building on top of it.
And they're building together collaboratively.
They're building together.
We're not enemies.
And we're connected.
Yeah.
We're connected to people all over every person in the world is connected. And they're connected through a base layer of truth. What would society look like? It's incredible. And then that path produces constant falling prices, but government gets smaller as a result because the only government that actually succeeds tells you the truth instead of a lie. What I think where people get stuck on this is they want their thing to win right now, or their thing to win right now, and they think of it as a light switch. And it's a transition. It's a bridge to the other side. It's creating a bridge, and yes, if you're early in it, you'll create more of the wealth on Bitcoin, but it gives you no more power in the system. And as you spend your Bitcoin, you'll distribute your Bitcoin. So if wages are sticky and you had the exact inverse of the model you had today, and prices declined, that means the middle class and poor are getting wealthier because wages aren't going down as fast as technology is creating that abundance. And so you have the exact inverse of what's happening today in the world, healing the world. And that transition from one system to another system is super powerful.
Thanks for making it until the end. We are Bit Intelligence. If you enjoyed this documentary, please hit the like button and subscribe for more documentaries on Bitcoin.